Meaning of foreign exchange: exchange of currency of one country for the currency of another country. Exchange of US dollar for Indian rupees constitute foreign exchange. So the need for forex is it arises due to the funds flow between residents of different countries on account of personal remittances and trade related remittances. Also, there is growing importance of forex as an asset class by fund managers, hedge funds, and pension funds, etc. So, as we can see here, historical spot exchange rates for US dollar to INR in year 2005 to 2018. Monetary systems: gold a medium of exchange. Around 700 BC, gold was made into coins for the first time, enhancing its usability as a monetary unit. Before this, gold had to be weighted and checked for purity when settling trades. The discovery of America in the 15th century brought the first great gold rush. Spain's plunder of treasures from the New World raised Europe's supply of gold by 5 times in the 16th century. Subsequent gold rushes in Americas, Australia, and South Africa took place in the 19th century. By 1821, England became the first country to officially adopt a gold standard. The century's dramatic increase in global trade and production brought large discoveries of gold, which helped the gold standard remain intact well into the next current century. As all trade imbalances between nations were settled with the gold, governments had strong incentive to stockpile gold for more difficult times. Those stockpiles still exist today. Gold standard essentially involved countries to fix the prices of domestic currency in terms of specified amount of gold. In other words, in such a monetary system, gold backs the value of money. With the gold standard, countries agreed to convert paper money into fixed amount of gold. From 1871 to 1914, the gold standard was at its pinnacle. During this period, near ideal political condition existed in the world. Governments worked very well together to make the system work, but this all changed forever with the outbreak of the Great War in 1914. Monetary system: the Bretton Woods Agreement. With World War I, political alliances changed international indebtedness, increased the government finances deteriorated. While the gold standard was not suspended, it was in a limbo during the war, demonstrating its inability to hold through both good and bad times. This created a lack of confidence in the gold standard that only exacerbated economic difficulties. It became increasingly apparent that the world needed something more flexible on which to base its global economy. Then in 1934, the US government revalued gold from $20 to $35 per OZ, raising the amount of paper money it took to buy of 1 ounce to help improve its economy. As World War II was coming to an end, the leading Western powers met to develop the Bretton Woods Agreement, which would be the framework for the global currency markets until 1971. Within the Bretton Woods system, all national currencies were valued in relation to the US dollar, which became the dominant reserve currency. The dollar, in turn, was convertible to gold at the fixed rate of $35 per ounce. The global financial system continued to operate upon a gold standard, albeit in a more indirect manner. The fall of the gold standard and the international monetary system. As the world rebuilt itself after World War II, the US saw its gold reserves steadily drop as money flowed to war torn nations and its own high demand for imports. The high inflationary environment of the late 1960s also posed challenge to the gold standard. The gold pool collapsed in 1968 as member nations were reluctant to cooperate fully in maintaining the market price at the US price of gold. In August 1971, Britain requested to be paid in gold, forcing Nixon's hand and officially closing the gold window. By 1976, it was official. The dollar would no longer be defined by gold, thus marking the end of any semblance of gold of a of a gold standard. Floating rate system. The gold standard is not currently used by any government. Britain stopped the Britain stopped using the gold standard in 1931. The US followed the suit in 1933 and abandoned the remnants of the system in 1971. The gold standard was completely replaced by fiat money. Fiat currency is ultimately based on the fact that they are defined as legal tender by the way of government decree. Fiat money is government issued currency that is not backed by any physical commodity such as gold or silver. The value of fiat money is derived from the relationship between supply and demand of and the stability of the issuing government rather than the worth of the commodity backing it. Most modern paper currencies are fiat currencies. The Smithsonian Agreement devalued the US dollar by 8.5% relative to gold, raising the price of an ounce of gold from 35 US dollar to 38 US dollar. By 1973, most major currencies had shifted from a fixed to a floating exchange rate relative to the US dollar. India's exchange rate system pegged regime 1971 to 1992. India pegged its currency to the US dollar from August 1971 to December 1991 and to the pound sterling from December 1971 to September 1975. During this period, RBI set the rate by daily announcing the buying and selling rates to authorized dealers. In other words, RBI instructed authorized dealers to buy and sell foreign currencies at the given rate by the RBI on a daily basis. Different market mechanism. Fixed rate system. Governments are committed to maintain target exchange rates. There is coordination on monetary policy also to maintain the same exchange rate. Currency devaluation or revaluation was used the last resort, which was done by public announcements. The system failed in 1970s and gave way to free float managed float system. Such free float exchange rate is determined by forces of demand and supply alone. Such a system of free floating exchange rate is referred as clean float. Managed float. Most countries with floating currencies attempt to smooth out exchange rate fluctuations through central bank intervention, also known as dirty float. It smoothens excessively volatility, leaning against the wind, unofficial pegging. Target zone arrangement. Countries adjust their national policies to maintain their exchange rate within a specific margin around agreed upon fixed central exchange rates. Foreign market. Foreign exchange market, a market where buying and selling of various currencies take place. It is a 24 hours market. Major international centers of forex trading include New York, London, Frankfurt, Bahrain, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo. Forex market in Middle East is open on Saturdays and Sundays, thus making it a 365 days market. Major participants in forex market are banks and financial institutions. In terms of trading volumes, it is the largest in the world. Daily forex volume is USD 5.3 trillion in 2014. Instruments traded in forex market include spot, forwards, futures, swap and options. Characteristics of foreign currency exchange market. Lower trading cost. In the forex market, the lower trading cost has made it possible for even small individual investors to make the decent profits from trading. With lower costs, the possible losses are much lower. You will discover that forex trading has no commission fees unlike in other investments. The forex trading cost is limited to the spread or the differences between the buying and selling prices for a particular currency pair. 24-hour trading opportunity. You have a you have plenty of opportunities to execute traders and sufficient time to make adjustments whenever and wherever such opportunities present themselves. Highly leveraged market. You are allowed to trade on margins or technically on borrowed money with forex. You get more value for your money as the returns can be magnified a hundredfold. However, always remember that there are two sides of the coin when it comes to leverage, meaning It can also increase your losses. Excellent transparency. Forex trading is transparent process because the forex trader has full access to market data and information that are necessary to achieve successful transactions. The excellent transparency that traders have more control over investments and decide what to do based on the available information. Access advantage in forex. You can access the foreign currency exchange market and your trading account from anywhere using your internet connection without difficulty and trade from anywhere you may happen to be. With other financial markets, you need to be physically present to execute a trade. Superior liquidity. In a forex market, traders are free to buy and sell currencies of their choosing. The superior liquidity of the forex markets allows traders to easily exchange currencies without affecting the prices of the currencies being traded. Whether you trade $1,000 or millions, you can be assured of same currency prices during the same an order was placed and executed. The forex market's superior liquidity allows you to get the profits you expect at the time you made the trade. Demand and supply of forex. Demand and supply of currency is influenced by inward and outward remittances remittances on account of personal remittances, export and import of goods and services, investment by foreigners in forms of FDI, investment by residents of other countries or foreign MFs or pension funds. Foreign MF means mutual funds. Pension funds in the form of FII. Borrowing by resident from abroad, ECB, external commercial borrowing. Borrowing by government, aid received by NGOs from foreign sources, and others. Exchange rate mechanism. Exchange rate is determined by demand supply equilibrium. Determinants of demand supply of currency taking two currency models USD and INR. Money supply increases in market money supply increases in money supply results in inflation as excess money chases few goods and services. Inflation rate, the currency which has higher inflation tends to depreciate relative to the other currency. Interest rates, currency with low interest rate are expected to appreciate relative to currencies with high interest rate. Economic growth rate, currency with high economic growth has stronger currency. Political and economic risk, currency with lesser political and economic risk has a stronger currency. Exchange rate mechanism continued. Exchange rate is determined by the following economic relationships. Purchasing power parity. Broader assumption is that one unit of home currency should have the same purchasing power around the world based on the assumption that free trade equalizes the price of any good and services in the country. Currencies with high rates of inflation should devalue relative to currencies with lower rates of inflation. Limitation of PPP for exchange rate determination. It is it is valid only for a long it is valid only for long run for forecasting of currencies. It does not take into account the effect of transportation cost, tariffs, duties, etc. Inflation calculation of two countries can be different. For example, India and USA run inflation rates 5% and 2% respectively. 1 US dollar is 70 rupees. What is the USD rate after 1 year? So based on that we can calculate it to be 72 rupees. Exchange rate is determined by the following economic relationships. Fisher effect. It shows direct relationship between interest rates of a particular currency and inflation. It shows the currency with high inflation should have high interest rate than currency with low rates of inflation. Currencies with low interest rates are expected to appreciate relative to currencies with high interest rates. Determinants of exchange rate. The following theories explain the fluctuation in exchange rates of the following theories explain the fluctuations in exchange rates in a floating exchange rate regime. In a fixed exchange regime, rates are decided by its government. International parity conditions. Relative purchasing power parity, interest rate parity, domestic Fisher effect, international Fisher effect. Though to some extent the above theories provide logical explanation for the fluctuations in exchange rates, yet these theories falter as they are based on challengeable assumptions, which are free flow of goods, services, and capital, which seldom hold true in the real world. Balance of payment model. This model, however, focuses largely on the tradable goods and services, ignoring the increased role of global capital flows. It failed to provide any explanation for the continuous appreciation of the US dollar during the 1980s and most of the 1990s, despite the soaring US current account deficit. Asset market model views it views currencies as an important asset class for constructing investor portfolios. Asset prices are influenced mostly by people's willingness to hold the existing quantities of assets, which in turn depends on their expectation on the future worth of their assets. The asset market model of exchange rate determination states that the exchange rate between two currencies represents the price that just balances the relative supplies of and demand for asset denominated in those currencies. None of the models developed so far succeeded to explain exchange rates and volatility in the longer time frames. For shorter time frames, which is less than a few days, algorithms can be devised to predict prices. It is understood from the above models that many macroeconomic factors, including the exchange rates and in the end currency prices, are a result of dual forces of demand and supply. The world currency markets can be viewed as a huge melting pot in a large and ever changing mix of current events. Supply and demand factors are constantly shifting, and the price of one currency in relation to other shifts accordingly. No other market encompasses and distills as much as what is going on in world at a given time as a foreign exchange. Supply and demand for any given currency and thus its value are not influenced by any single element but rather by several. These elements generally fall into three categories: economic factors, political conditions, and market psychology. Forex settlement. The structure of foreign exchange market. To settle trade in foreign exchange, Indian bank need to have current account with banks in centers like New York, London, Singapore, etc. An account opened by Indian bank with another bank in foreign center is also called nostro account. Is called as nostro account. An account opened by bank abroad with a bank in India is called vostro account. The banks which opened such nostro accounts and vostro accounts are called correspondents or correspondent banks. It is through correspondent relationship that forex trades are settled internationally. Forex traded generally on e-trading platforms of routers. Forex dealing desk generally has two setups: interbank desk and merchant of customer desk. Nostro and Vostro account. Nostro and Vostro are Italian terms that describe the same bank account. Nostro means ours. It's a shorthand way of saying our money that is on deposit at your bank. Bank B refers to Bank A's account that it holds as a Vostro account. Vostro means yours, and it's a way to say your money that is on deposit at our bank. A Nostro account will be in foreign currency. It is a record of funds held by bank in another country in the currency of that country. Vostro account will be in the local currency of the bank where the money is being held. Loro account. It means our account of their money with you. Loro account is a current account maintained by one domestic bank on behalf of the other domestic bank in foreign currency. In other words, Loro account is a Nostro account for one bank who opened the bank, and Loro account for other banks who refers first one account. For example, SBI opened current account with Swiss Bank. If PNB refers that account of SBI for its correspondence, then it is called Loro account of for PNB, and it is called Nostro account for SBI. Forex settlement 2, Nostro account transactions, and inward remittances such an inward remittance results in credit in Nostro account, and outward remittance results in debit in Nostro account. Inward remittance results in buying of foreign currency by the bank and paying rupee to the customer. Outward remittance results in selling of foreign currency by the bank and getting rupee from the customer. Banks generally maintain a mirror account of Nostro to keep track of the transaction and for reconciliation with actual Nostro account. It's a pass-through account, and the accounting treatment is exactly the opposite. The credit in Nostro account is a debit entry in mirror account. Inward result in increase in Nostro balance, and outward remittances result in decrease in Nostro balance. Banks tend to maintain optimum balance in Nostro by buying or selling a forex. Mirror account. Since Nostro accounts are maintained in the books of overseas correspondent bank, a similar account is opened in the books of the Indian bank to mirror the entries which reflect in the Nostro account. This is called as Nostro mirror account. Banks generally maintain a mirror account of Nostro to keep track of the transaction and for reconciliation with actual Nostro account. It is a pass-through account, and the accounting treatment is exactly the opposite. A credit in Nostro account is a debit entry in a mirror account. Various entries of forex transaction: export transaction, import transaction are two transaction, and the entries would be: if ABC in export transaction, ABC export P Limited export items worth 1 million to Walmart. Debit $1 million Walmart account with Bank of America New York. Credit Nostro account of Axis Bank account with Citibank in New York. So the debit would be from Nostro mirror account in Axis Bank, and credit would be mentioned in INR equivalent to $1 million into ABC Exports Private Limited. In import transaction, AB Machines Private Limited imports items worth 1 million USD from GE Electrical. So the debit would be mentioned in INR equivalent to $1 million from the account of ABC Machines with Axis Bank. There would be credit of in Nostro mirror account in Axis Bank for 1 USD million, and debit would be of 1 USD million dollar from Nostro account of Axis Bank with Citibank New York, and a credit would be of 1 million US dollar into the account of GE Electric having account with Bank of America New York. Entries in Nostro mirror account: purchase of foreign currency. When the local bank XYZ receives credit in its Nostro account by the way of inward remittance, it buys the foreign currency from the beneficiary of the remittance at TT buying rate, pays him in the local currency. The one in the customer maintains its books locally, including the mirror account, and passes the following account entries. Mirror of Nostro in case of debit, mirror of Nostro account. In credit, it would be beneficiary. The sale of foreign currency would be when the local bank remits foreign currency through its Nostro account. It sells the foreign currency to the remitter at TT selling rate. pays off the beneficiary to the debit of its Nostro account and passes the following account entries. So the debit would be for the customer and credit would be mirror of Nostro account. Forex in branch. Remittances, inward and outward remittance. Then second type of forex that happens in branch is reporting to treasury and get forex rates, card rates or special rates. Operation to verify documents and send SWIFT for outward remittances. Then trade operations to verify export import documents for trade payments. Then inward remittances credited to customers' account for getting forex rates from treasury. SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, or SWIFT. It provides a network that enables financial institutions worldwide to send and receive information about financial transactions in a secure, standardized, and reliable environment. SWIFT transports financial messages in a highly secure way but does not hold account for its members and does not perform any form of clearing or settlement. SWIFT does not facilitate fund transfers, rather, it sends payment orders which must be settled by correspondent accounts that the institutions have with each other. Transaction flow would be the remitter or Indian sending remittance to US. It approaches his banks the, and says that in case this case is Axis Bank and rupee equivalent is debited. The Axis instruct to pay the correspondent, say the Citibank in New York. Citi does local fund transfer of USD to beneficiary bank, say Bank of America. Beneficiary account is credited with the USD. Forex treasury. In forex market, liquidity management of foreign exchange is done. To prevent default in currency position, banks borrow from correspondent banks. In case of trading in forex, bank also undertake proprietary position with specific intraday limits and limits on overnight open position, also with strict stop losses. Structure of treasury. Front office, it constitutes traders who deal with counterparties like banks. It includes interbank dealers and dealers who deal with customers. The mid office, its primary role of risk management. It monitors, measures, and analyzes. Monitoring role to oversee intraday limits and stop losses limits. And the back office, its work is transaction process group. It inputting issues contract notes to counterparties, make payments, receive and deliver securities, settlement and reconciliation. Integrated treasury. In case of money market, security market and forex market. Integration of domestic and forex treasury. For buying USD from the customer, rupee has to be arranged. Similarly, by selling USD, the rupee funds have to be deployed by domestic treasury. Geographical integration. Having a centralized treasury at one location for managing all the requirements for efficient utilization of funds and making it more cost effective, overall forex requirements and rupee fund will lead to efficiencies. Vertical integration of activities. Integration of trading and client dealing on forex. Integration of fund management, reserve management, security trading on domestic front. Integrated treasury reasons. It reforms in financial sectors, deregulation in interest rates, current account freely convertible, RBI relaxation, FDI, ECB, ODI, overseas borrowings and investments. The results of reforms: interest arbitrage, sources of funds in global markets, offshore operations, rupee cash flow, foreign currency cash flow, globalization, integration of treasury, domestic financial market, equity or debt.